I'm not sure we are live. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
Oh, good.
Subject does not have permission to create a live video on this group. I don't get it. Why not?
Hello, Renelle.
Hello. I was just trying to work out. I can hear what you're doing. I don't know if that means you're live or not. But
No, I don't think we are live. We're just, it's all good. We're just going to keep breathing.
have I come in the wrong place?
Yeah, we're trying to do it in the group, in the Facebook group.
Do you want me to log out of this and go back into the Facebook group?
Hold on, let me just see if I can get this done. I just don't understand. Settings.
I'm just gonna put a little thing in here that says having slight technical.
Yeah, Zoom video. It should be all right.
Be right with you.
Okay. I don't know how to do this now.
Let's just create suspense. Just remember, stay in pleasure. We're okay.
Right, because it's like, well, we've got Zoom on them, and it just needs to work. And if not, live on Facebook. Let's try that again now.
Okay, Renelle, so when we do go live, then you just pop off and then hang out in Facebook.
Okay, I think I'm there now. I think I'm in Facebook, but I can't. I'm on the group anyway. Okay, yeah.
Does it say where? I don't see live yet.
I can't see anything. Like I've clicked the link through on the email.
Okay, I think it's working now. Yay, there we go. Okay.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
It is being live streamed. All right, Chris, hit us with some music.
You betcha.
And slowly that people are coming in. It's not showing up for me yet, but I'm just going to trust that it's coming up. Yeah. Now notice where your breath is as you watch this video unfold. Are you holding it? Are you slightly annoyed that it took a bit of time to get in here? Noticing what's coming up for you.
I'm just noticing if your body starts to respond.
Good afternoon.
And morning. It is absolutely fantastic to be with you. Thank you so much for giving us your most precious resource, which is your time.
Right.
So we would love to see who is actually joining us. So just in the comments, just let us know who you are, where you are. We would love to say hello.
Where you're from, what part of the world are you not calling in from, but watching from, right? Welcome, welcome. So thank you for being with us, for taking this time for yourself. To tap into, from Jerusalem, London. We are all over the world. I see that there's some peeps in from Regina, from Canada, Calgary. Goodness me, there's someone from Spain.
I am not seeing any of these comments. So Juliet, you are going to, I got them, just got them.
Goodness me, there's someone from Spain. You might want to turn your
me.
sound off though. There we
the
go.
Comments though. Perfect.
All right.
Wonderful. So we want to set this up so that everybody feels deliciously safe and like you can actually drop in and really let yourself go into this. So what today is going to look like is we are going to try to keep this to about 75 minutes. And within that, we are going to be talking about how we're erotically wired. We're going to talk about how it's completely a myth that we are not sexually compatible either with our partners, or just how to actually get into the body, our own body often, because often we don't even know our own body. We, at the end, are also going to have an offer, just so you know, right up front, there will be an offer, but we will tell you about it before we offer so that you can hop off if you feel full from everything that we gave you. Okay. And so what we would like to do is just set this container. So anything that Juliet and I speak about is pretty much free game. You can speak about it to other people, but if anybody else shares anything, please do not share it with anybody else. The biggest part about this work is to really take care of yourself. So this is information that can bring up a lot of shame. It can bring up feelings of insecurity, comparison, past beliefs. It can bring a lot to the forefront for you. So take care of yourself while we're going through this information. You might just need to pause and breathe. You might just need to kind of get up and walk around. You might just need to come back to it. So that is really important. And to know that we will be in this Facebook group for the entirety of this class. And then we will be taking down this video as well as this class within probably about 3 to 4 days. So it'll be here if you want to come back to it. And then it will be, the group will be closed. So we just want a really clean, tight container of opening this container for all of us, and then a tight container of closing it, so that everybody knows that, the container is closed.
Yeah. So what that means is that from now until today's Saturday, so from now until the end of the week, until Friday next week, you can come on, you can ask us questions in the Facebook group, you can share with us what happened, because this is really a good digestion process, right? You've taken in all this information. You might have had an opening somewhere. You're like, oh, what do I do with this now? So go ahead, share with us, ask us questions, and then all of that will come down. All right. So on Friday, midnight, everything will come down. So whatever questions you have, ask them before then. Know that everything that has been shared here will stay here. So that is our container. That is what we need for everyone to feel safe. Because if we're going to share ourselves, we want to make sure that we're safe. Because our body is, our vigilance center is constantly looking out for things if we are safe. So this is why we are so hot on actually container setting and on consent. So share away and know that no one is going to share your experience. You can share your own experience of what it was like to watch us. You can talk about Christine and me, that's no problem, and your own experience. Please don't share anything that someone else said. Okay.
Oh, yes, so let's take a breath. How is everybody feeling as we come into this?
Excited. Hello, hands up. Yes, agreeing with the container setting. People from all over the world. I love it.
Yes. There's usually just a little lag from comments to actually what we're saying. So we're not just trying to tease you, although we are. Yeah, love this. Beautiful. Yeah, excited. Wonderful.
We'll get into the teasing part a bit later, because that is one of the blueprints that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. Yes, feeling like we have a lot to learn. You know, that is across the board. When we learn something and know something, it just shows us how much more we get to learn. And especially when we're talking about the body, it is a buffet of information, and it changes all the time depending on hormones and mood and did we get enough sleep and where we are in our blueprints and all of that. So really give yourself a lot of permission just to be present with what's here in your body right now. And so what we would like to do,
let's actually all take a breath there.
yeah,
Just come into
get in the body.
And we're like, ooh, this is happening. Let's just take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Oh. And again, a breath in. Exhale through your mouth. You may want to use a sound. It might be silent. Just allow it to come out. And another breath in. And exhale. And notice where you might have a lot of thoughts coming in. And just allow those to come in. But then notice what is happening to your body. Do you feel connected to the earth? Are your feet on the ground? And what's coming up there? Focusing on the breath, drawing it all the way down to your belly. Let's squeeze those shoulders all the way up to your neck, all the way up to your ears. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then drop them. Squeeze, 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 squeeze again. And drop them. And now you may want to put your right hand on your shoulder and give that a bit of a squeeze. And then drag it across your breast to your hip. and the other right hand on your left hand on your right shoulder. Taking a deep breath in, squeezing your shoulder a bit if that feels good, and then dragging it across your breast to your hip. And moving it all the way down your legs. And then slowly open your eyes a little bit. Look around the room that you're in. Accept 2 or 3 things that are in your space. Wiggle your fingers, look at them, and like, yay, those are my fingers. Smell if there are any smells going on. Really bring it to the here and now. And then once you're ready, come back to watching the screen if that feels good. There you go. That is what we call pleasure first, is actually coming back to the body. Pleasure is such a loaded word at the moment, right? I mean, our mentor Jaya got banned from her email provider and from Yahoo and other things because she used the word pleasure in an email. And people pleasure immediately think about sexual pleasure. But what we mean with pleasure is like, let's be with our bodies. Let's be with what is happening in the moment.
And so even any little times we have pauses, just allowing yourself to find pleasure within the body. And everybody is set up for pleasure in a different way. There's like little keys to our body that unlocks our pleasure. And so with the erotic blueprints, it's a framework. It doesn't matter if you're in a polyamorous relationship, monogamous, if you're by yourself, you actually have a framework within yourself that is unique completely to you. And so it helps us better understand ourselves when we start to figure out how our body is wired, erotically wired. It starts to pull off the myths that something is wrong with us. Nothing is wrong or broken with any of us. We just have different ways of actually accessing our pleasure or increasing the pleasure to turn on an arousal. And so we all have different ways to actually get into our own bodies. And then once we start to learn our own framework, our own blueprints, our own kind of like just like the love languages, we have these blueprint or erotic blueprint languages, then we can start to actually come to our partners with this information so that we feel like we have depth of connection, so that both people are becoming deeply satisfied within one another and we don't have so much disconnection.
Who's ready for that? For some connection, right? I mean, I know I don't want to live my life in disconnection. And so often when we're in partnership, we're like, why doesn't he or she understand what I want and what I need? I've tried to explain. And
or people don't know how to ask.
Yes. Or the shame is like, I should know. Or, we've been together so long, like, he should know, I should know, and then there's the shame shitstorm, we call it.
Yeah. Or we don't know how to actually access our turn on. So we feel sexually blocked.
Yeah. And that's what we often notice, right? Where people are like, oh, we in the beginning, it's all hot and heavy and we have lots of sex. And then, 2-3 years, it's like, okay, maybe once a week. And then it's like, oh, once every 2 weeks. Like, oh, once every 3 weeks. It's like once every 3 months. And you just forget. And it's like your roommates. It's like, whoa, what happened to the passion? Does this always die out? And that's when,
Yeah.
for me, after doing 10 years of different sexuality, conscious sexuality practices, when I came across the blueprints, it was like, oh, I have multiple languages and they just haven't been speaking my language, or I haven't even been tapped into what my language was in that day. So it was like a real, like, oh, I am not broken. Oh, I am not wrong. Or, oh, the shame of like wanting more sex in your partner. Who's had that, right? It's like you're a nymph, if you're a nymphomaniac of a woman, if you want more sex than your partner. It's like, this is all happening because of the cross wires in communication, cross wires of how you are erotically wired.
And so we really want to start to demystify and show you how to first come back to your own body, because once you actually have a map of your own body, then we can go out and actually ask for what we need, want, desire, and which creates connection. So I would love to ask, as we are here, just to close your eyes for a moment, if it's in your practice. And I want you to notice what happens in your body. When I say these words, just notice if your body goes, oh, yeah, or yeah, no. And just notice what one you resonate with the most. Are you someone who loves space or proximity, anticipation, tease, like light hovering touch, that depth of connection with your partner, presence, eye gazing? Maybe you're someone who loves to have all of your senses ignited. Good smells, taste, music, baths, massages, dancing, great food, body to body contact. Just notice what your body is doing as I offer these up to you. Or maybe you're someone who just loves pure and simple sex. No frills needed. You like nudity, orgasms, and all things sexual in nature. Maybe you're turned on by taboo, power dynamics, psychological games, fantasies, submission, domination. Maybe you love a good spanking. Or maybe you like being tied up.
Maybe you like to tie others up.
And maybe as I was going through all of those, maybe you're turned on by all of what I said. Maybe you need that or desire all of that. You love the variety, the chaos, the exploration, contrast, endless possibilities.
Can I have it all, please?
And a double plate of have it all, please. So you've likely taken the erotic blueprint quiz, which tells you logically what your blueprint is. However, sometimes the body might give you differing information. You might have noticed that your body ignited when I said certain words. You might notice that you actually kind of retracted. It's all just information. It doesn't mean you're right, wrong, broken, bad. It's just stay in curiosity. It's all just information. So
Christine just took you through the blueprints. and actually noticing what's happening in your body, where you might be contracted, where you might be a bit expansive, and where you might be just, hey, a little bit curious. It's like, oh, what's that? Is he talking about tying up? That might be interesting. Or it's like, ooh, yo, no, thank you. So when we start working with blueprints, there are 5 different blueprints, and there are things that are turn-ons. There are things that get you excited. And then there are also the shadow side. And oftentimes we will recognize ourselves more by the shadow sides. Because this all sounds delicious, but if we're in a relationship that might have gone a bit stale, it's like, But then if we think about, someone approaching us, our partner approaching us, hovering across from us, excitement building, and all of a sudden you notice the dirty socks and the thoughts come into your head. It's like, oh my God, did I shave? Did I not? My legs are hairy. I might be smelly down there. Ooh, not sure I can stay in my body. It's like all these things come up. That is also a shadow side. Yeah. The kind of touch you're getting, it's too hard, it's not right. You're just thinking, oh yeah, I wish the breath didn't smell so much. He's just eating garlic. So all these thoughts, all these sensations, and then all the mind chatter takes you out of dropping into your body, out of being in pleasure. If you're sexual, the shadow side is like, when are we going to come? Come on, when am I going to get my cock and pussy, and really, like, they want it all. It's like, do I have to spend 3 hours on the whole foreplay? Come on. For the kinky, there's often a lot of shame associated with it. It's like, oh my God, can't I ever get off without having to go into fantasy or having to be tied up or spanking? Can't I just ever have normal sex? And then they shut down. And for a shapeshifter, just like they have the whole smorgasbord of everything, they can have all the shadows and they all play out. So take a breath.
And so what we would like to do is have an embodied experience before we actually go into any more explanation. So both Juliet and I really stand for being in your body. Oftentimes we take in information in our heads and then it doesn't land. It makes sense, but we don't do anything with it. So what we've done is we've grabbed some sensation items. So we're going to go through how to actually work a little bit with your body. And then after that, we're going to come and we're going to talk about the blueprints a little bit more once you have a little bit more information so that you can digest what we're actually offering you. How does that sound? Perfect. So it's very easy just to use your hands for all of this. But what we're also going to do is we're going to show you some sensation items so that you can see when you come back to this video in the next few days, maybe, you can see how to use some sensation play items so that you can actually increase your information gathering around what is your way into your body. Perfect. So let's start with the touch that is just hovering touch. So allowing your hand to be over top of your arm. And just notice as your hand comes down, imagining it going through like molasses. And when you find a little area that feels something, any kind of information, pause there. And once you pause, notice what's happening inside your body. You might notice nothing. You might notice tingling. An organic breath might come through. And then just noticing if your hand wants to come down even lower. Just imagine it coming down so slow, just as if it's tickling the tips of your hairs.
Ooh.
Are you wanting stillness?
Oh.
Are you wanting little baby bits of movement? And then noticing if you just want to slightly, gently, slowly move your fingers along your arm. And then just take a moment and let that settle. Notice what comes up now. Notice if you have kind of this delicious feeling moving through your body. You might notice that you just want to get on with it and you didn't understand what that was even all about. That might have brought up emotion. Just allowing yourself to be present and be aware of whatever comes up. It's all information, and it will all the information will start to help you tease out what your blueprint is. So don't try to think it through yet. Just gather the information.
Beautiful. So let's go to the next one. Again, put your arm one on top, and now bring that hand and stroke your arm. And then you might want to drape it around your wrist. Trace your fingers. Close your eyes if that feels good. And softly massage your hand. Really like cupping and all of your hand. You might want to bring your wrist up to smell. Put your nose in it, smell it, feel what that feels like against your hand. Bring it down your neck. And again, notice how that feels on you. Do you want to bring your hands to your face, slowly drawing down your jaws? Perhaps lightly touching your lips, tracing them. Bring your hands to your heart for a moment. Hold it. Take a deep breath in there. And let that settle in your body. And notice if that brought anything up, if any emotions came up, any sense of impatience. You got little goosebumps on your flesh. Oh, if you like that, if you were used to that kind of touch, if you wanted to rush it or slow down, what the differences were when you slowed it up, down, or sped up. Remembering that all of this is information. It's not right, it's not wrong. It just is. It's your body responding to your own touch.
Mm. Just letting a tiny bit more time so that that can digest. And the next blueprint, just allowing yourself to let your hands explore your genitals. Maybe it's your breasts, maybe it's your vulva. And just allowing your hands to do some exploration. And just noticing if this feels like the information your body's wanting. It's like, oh yeah, there, that's what I like.
It may be, hey, that is just too fast. No, I can touch the top of my breast, the side of my breast, but that's about as far as I want to go. I'll put my hand in my uterus, the top of my vulva, but not any further. Just notice whatever feels right for you. Noticing if more permission comes in, the longer you sit with it, the longer you are with it.
And with this next blueprint, I would love everybody to just take a breath. This is one of Juliet's favorites of leading. And so
You'd like
just
me to
take it.
lead, darling?
Pardon?
You'd like me to lead?
Oh, you know it.
Right. So just noticing your body, what this exchange is bringing up. Lower your eyes. Did I tell you could look into the camera? Good girl. I like it when you do as you're told. You're doing really well there. I might just give you a reward. I like it when you're a good girl. Madam is very pleased. Notice what comes up in your body. Are you like, oh, that is kind of hot, or that's like, oh, I'm not sure about that. That was a little bit of psychological kink, a little bit of taboo, and where you can just play with words like this and with energy. Or we can say to Christine, close your eyes now. I want you to lean your head back.
And so I encourage other people to do this as well. Imagine Juliet actually saying this to you so that you can get the embodied experience.
Right. So everyone, close your eyes. Lean your head back. And then bring your right hand, your nails, scratch slightly on the left side, right behind your ear. And then draw it across your throat. Slower, slower, lighter. Now increase the pressure. Now I want you to bring it to your other shoulder. And give yourself a little smack there. Good girl. Now hold your arm out, wrist up, and then take your other hand and scratch from your palm up your wrist, not too hard. Slowly. Breathing. Good girls, you're doing beautifully. And let your body show you if you like this, going up or going down. Perhaps you like the tease, anticipation of your fingernails on your skin, the anticipation of maybe a little slap, a little fighting against the pressure of your hand. So hold your wrist with one hand and then kind of fight against it. It's like, oh, you want to break free of your own hand. Do you like this? Is that kind of hot? Would you like it more if you were the one holding someone else? There's so much in the kinky realm. You could be the receiver, you could be the giver. It can be psychological, it can be physical. There is just so much. Maybe it's getting undressed in front of people, slightly leaving your window, your curtains open, that someone can just see silhouette as you take off your shirt. They can see your breasts. All of that falls under the kinky. So go ahead and take a breath. Have that settle in. Notice what happens to your body.
Just notice if there's any heat that's coming through.
Perhaps there might be a bit of shame.
Mm-hmm. You might not understand what you're feeling, and that's okay.
Right? This one, often when you struggle against your wrist, that actually feels pretty good, but you're like, oh, I shouldn't be liking this. And that's where then the shame wants to come in. And let's just notice what happened in our bodies.
And so just allowing yourself to feel your feet on the floor. Feel your bum, wherever it is. Allow yourself to relax your butthole. Breathe as that digests through your body. And just again, you're just fact finding. It's like, wow, I didn't know my body responded like that. Or I didn't know my head went into thoughts around that. Or the emotions that come up. Allow yourself to feel authentically whatever is happening in this moment.
It might have taken you straight back to memory. All of this is what comes up when we actually start opening up our body to sensations.
And so the next one we would love to explore with you is going to take us on a little bit of a ride. So using your hand, just allowing yourself to place your hand a little bit above your heart space. And the other hand actually on your genitals. And just cup both those areas. And then with your bottom hand, as your heart hand is just slightly over, with your bottom hand, just tap your genitals. You're just gaining information. You might like it, you might not. And then with your lower hand, you're just going to cup and stroke up quite hard, up towards the side of your body, up the side of your body to your throat. Allow your hand to come around your throat. Give yourself a little bit of pressure. With this other hand, just slowly, gently caressing your body. Allow yourself to make some sound if that feels okay. Continuing to caress your body, going down to your leg and smack your leg. Taking the neck hand and just coming down slowly to your heart space, to your nipple, gently caressing your nipple. And this other hand coming back behind your head and just grab the back of your hair and pull. Beautiful. And take a breath. Just come back to yourself. Notice if there's any movements that your body wants to make to help digest all that amazing energy, that information, the sensation. What if you gave yourself full permission to play in these possibilities, these realms of sensation? And as you start to come back, just to start giving your bones a little bit of pushing, grabbing, just to really get you present. Look around the room. Find 3 things that are blue. Notice if you'd like to drink some water or you need to get up and move a little bit. And those, my lovelies, are the blueprints. And so just making a mental note for yourself of what came up for you. What did you like? What didn't you like? What was happening in your mind? You might have noticed some confusion where your mind said, I've never liked that. But your body clearly liked it. It's all just information.
And also wanting to reiterate that it's information at this moment. Now, here and now, now. It might change in 2 minutes. We do this again, it would be completely different outcome. This is where you're at now. I would love for you to share, if you're winning, just what was surprising. What was something that you hadn't quite expected, but your body revealed something to you that you might not be used to? For me, the energetic touch, I was like, whoa. In the shapeshifter, the last one, the energetic touch really got me laughing and giggling, and my body was shaking. It was like, whoa, right on camera too.
Yeah, the last one was surprising.
Yeah, right.
And as these comments are coming through, what we're going to do is we're going to build out some of what the actual names of these erotic blueprints are. So you have more of a idea of what these things mean.
Hmm. And there often is a lot of surprise that we enjoy things that might be considered taboo. And how uncomfortable we may be touching our own bodies.
There can be so much shame around pleasure. So touching ourselves, even these even the way that we did it right now can bring up a whole bunch of good girls don't touch themselves. It's inappropriate. I don't deserve this much pleasure. I don't deserve to feel this good. And so what our mission is really to unlock this vital life force energy that lives within every single one of us, so that when we go through life, that is what we are moving with, is this generative life force energy that is creative energy. It's simply our creative, beautiful life force energy that we're asking to come forth. But we have a lot of shame wrapped around it. Sometimes trauma, often a lot of trauma that is held in the body that has kind of veiled itself over top of pleasure. And so we don't have direct access to these kind of, I'll call them pleasure portals. And so really allowing the veils to open of past beliefs, religious beliefs, what we've been told, what society says is, right or wrong. And even right now, as Juliet said, even right now, as everything is opening up and we have much more ability to speak about the normalcy that pleasure is our birthright, even now, we are not allowed to use the word pleasure in social media. It's unreal. Yet our body is wired for pleasure, physiologically wired. We have 8,000 nerve endings in our clitoris alone. And almost that many, but not quite as many in our butthole.
Yeah.
Wired.
And we may also be in different stages of life. Yeah, I know when I went through the menopause, my sex drive went up, where a lot of people it goes down. I was like, whoa, can I have sex 5 times a day, please? And people were like, and then, yeah, once that got satisfied, it was like, oh, now I don't want this. Please don't come so close anymore. And to be okay with how your body responds differently. Because besides the 5 blueprints, there are also different stages that we go through. We might be in a resting stage. If you've just had a baby, if you have young toddlers around, you're tired. Your pleasure might be locking yourself up in the bathroom for 3 minutes and getting a few deep breaths in. And that is going to be the only pleasure you can get. The pleasure might be sleeping 5 hours in one go without being woken up. But it's like here we can really dial in what it is, our little pleasures, right? It's like maybe it is sipping a coffee for 6 minutes before you have to get the kids up, noticing the sun rise, noticing the way that the sun hits nature, hits the leaves, and that can be your pleasure. It doesn't always have to be physical.
Yeah. Or smelling your little people. You know how they just smell so good?
Yeah, right.
So we want to just give you the words. But again, remembering they're just words. The body bears the wisdom. So what you've just experienced will give you the information. If you were somebody who really liked this slow, Juliet, you're probably, Juliet's very highly energetic today.
Oh.
This is energetic. This is an energetic touch. Okay. If you're somebody who liked the sweeping, massaging, maybe stretching, grabby, that's the sensual blueprint. They love all the senses ignited: taste, touch, smell.
You know, when you smell a fig and it almost has you orgasm right there, you're just like, oh, it just goes all the way into your body. You feel it everywhere, just to smell it, to taste it. When we're real foodies, sensual people are super foodies, and they love the way different textures are in their mouth, and like the explosion of taste in your mouth, how that just goes through your whole body. That's essential.
And so I just want to back up to the energetic. So the energetic, their kind of superpower or amazing ability is they can feel their partners. They can feel they have a really amazing ability to have empathic connection with other humans.
And let's
And
not forget the full body orgasms without.
I was just, yes. And know that even if that's not something you have as a full bodied orgasm, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. We're just telling you what's possible. Your body is wired. We're all wired for these. We just have different ways. Every single person has a different framework of how to get in. And so everything that Juliet and I are talking about is a possibility if you would like it. So it's not to compare yourself or judge yourself or anything like that. It's just they're all possible. And the next one was the sexual blueprint that really loves kind of the mainstream, what everybody thinks of as sex: genitals, nudity, orgasm, direct to the point. Everybody got off. Everybody thinks everything's just hunky-dory. That's the sexual. They typically have a libido that goes from 0 to 60 in a second. It's simple. Sex is simple for them. They don't require a lot of foreplay or anything that's extravagant.
And then we have the kinky, where kinky could be anything that's taboo. So it was the slight scratching. Ooh, do we like that? The struggling against the wrist, the holding your throat, and me talking, saying that you're a good girl and look down. See, there's a little kinky there. And just notice how you might giggle. It's like, oh, or you'd be like, ew, no, don't like that. And that's all information again.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the shapeshifter, which is the amalgamation of all of them. They love everything, all of it, and they want it all. And so it really is, kinky and energetic and sexual and sensual, and everything is ever changing. And so they want it all. It's like they have the full orchestra. So, where a sensual might be the cello, it's like those beautiful low notes. And the sexual might be the trumpet. It's like, it's quick, it's fast. Everything is just like pointed. When we're talking about the shapeshifter, it's this full-bodied experience. They have access to the energetic orgasms, the sensual orgasms. They have access to kink. They have all this like full access to themselves, and they love everything, typically everything.
And how this often shows up is that shapeshifters are starving, because what we do is we're with a partner. They're usually one blueprint, and we play in their blueprint all the time because we can shapeshift ourselves. But then we realize all the other ones are kind of like lagging behind, and we're like, we don't understand why. We're just bored, want more sensation, want something else.
So as you can see, we're just giving you the tip of the iceberg, or the tip of information with this. This is just the start of an unraveling within yourself. And so what I would encourage you to do is to write down the things that you've learned, the things that have shown up for you. It will start to help you map out your body, how you're wired.
And then really you can start, that's one of the things that we do in the blueprints is take the quiz. see what we are. Where are we in our history? What's happening? Are we just had kids? Are we menopausal? This, that. And really noticing what are the obstacles? What's in your way at the moment? Have you just started a new job? Is it super stressful? All these things really make a huge difference in how we perceive pleasure, how we can drop into our body. Has there been any what has your education been around sex and about sensuality, about intimacy? What did your parents used to tell you about it? What do your peers say? What were your past experiences? All of this filters the lens through which we look at pleasure. So like Christine says, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's the tip of your body, your psyche, your way into yourself.
And I want to say that sensuality, sexuality can be your way to your spirituality. It can be the actual gateway over and above meditation, over and above classes, this can be your way if it feels congruent for you and it feels like your body is like, wow, this is it. And I say this because with sensuality and sexuality, all of our stuff is held there. We will find repressed emotion, joy, bliss, transcendental universes. I mean, and again, this is all possible. It doesn't mean that it's for you. It's just we're talking to what's possible.
Manifestation. There's so much in it. And that's, might not be where you are at now. That's cool. We don't all need to be that. And you circle in and out of it at one point once you do get there. And some people are like, yeah, that's just not my cup of tea. I don't want out of body experiences where it feels like I'm feeling the whole universe, where it just feels like I can call in money, the right kind of people, everything. That's not my thing. Thank you. I want to just feel like what my body here right now can feel. And that's cool too.
Yeah. And even just, ways in which to get unhijacked out of our mind. As you were saying, Juliet, you're about to have, a session with your partner and you're thinking about the dirty socks on the floor or your unshaven legs. And so there really is some beautiful ways to open that up so that your body really does get to feel pleasure versus just, going off in our head and it's another to do. How many people know that one, right? It's another to do. Yeah. So I would love to hear what in the chat, what was one thing that you're taking away from today? And as you're writing that in, we're going to go over that. And then Juliet and I will stay on and let you know if you want to take this to the next level, if you want to learn how to speak, heal, feed yourself and your partner. That's what we're going to be going into. It'll take a couple minutes and we're going to just go over what that actually looks like. So I'd love to hear what people have to say in the chat. What are you taking away from here? What did you learn? What was hot? What was like, oh, I love that.
For For me, what was hot is your little giggle when I told you to look down.
Juliet, I know that that's going to feed me. So every single time I have the opportunity to ask for what I need, I ask you to lead kink every time, because I know that little devilish voice that comes out in you and that energy that I love so much. And it just feeds us both. So I wouldn't change that for the world.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Loving that people are actually noticing what their own body wants and when they're not only focused on their partner.
Mm-hmm. I was super fed by Juliet's kink. Exploring all my senses, how my body opens up. A little kink I was turned on by. I love that giggle. Right on. Oh, that's fun. Juliet, your energy was amazing. My favorite part. Yeah.
Right. And that's why we switched from Zoom to Facebook, so that we couldn't see you. You could see us, but we couldn't see you. And you can do this in the privacy of your home.
Yeah.
Right. So this container of what the blueprints are, just that little taster of what the blueprints are, that now is complete. So if you're like, yeah, I'm complete, I don't want to know how to continue this, I think for now I'm cool, I'm going to watch Sex, Love and Goop on Netflix, and I'm going to actually just notice a little bit more, that is completely lovely. We love you, you're amazing. Yeah, thank you for having spent your morning or your afternoon with us. And for those that do want to listen to a few minutes, stick around, because we've got some exciting stuff coming up.
And I just want to congratulate everybody. To hop on a call like this is vulnerable, and big love to you. It's amazing. So thank you for hanging out with us. Big love.
All right. So Christine and I have come together because we love teaching together. And you also get two sides of it. You get two different people's input, more energy. So we have our Erotica course, which is taking place in January. So it's a little bit away, but it will be, you get the Erotic Blueprint Breakthrough course, which is the 8-module course video modules that you'll be listening and you'll be watching. You can actually get access to that immediately. And then the other week, we do group coaching with you. So everything that you've just watched, all the questions that come up, we actually coach you through that. In that one, because a lot of thoughts and a lot of just a lot of things might come up. So this is where we take the time to go through it, to explain it even further, to focus, to fine tune it to you as a group. And that will be a group program. So we give you 10 sessions with us as a group, because we've noticed that only the 8 sessions of just doing erotic blueprints is often not enough, but you need the support of a group to hold you through there, to hold you accountable, to notice, like if you're doing this with your partner, hey, he blew out here, I blew out there, how do we bring this back together? How can we make some repair? So Christine is absolutely kick-ass in healing the body of trauma. You know, that is kind of her jam. This is what we do together, and getting the nervous system completely regulated so that you can actually start to feel pleasure, so that you don't have to numb yourself out, so that you don't have to go somewhere with your mind, but that you can bring it back to the body time and time again. So not only will you get that, but you will get sessions with one session with me and one session with Christine, private one-on-one, so that we can really make sure that you have the complete support that you need. So
go ahead. Sorry, Juliet.
Go
I
ahead.
got all excited there for a second. I just wanted to put a huge pump in for the work that you do and how you are laser focused with how you get into whatever is blocking somebody within the psyche, mind, subconscious. Like you just have that ability to just laser focus in. And so with that being coupled, so the course coupled with the session they get from you and the session that they get from me, really does create this wicked, amazing ability to kind of create transformation at a very deep level. And I cut you off, so I apologize.
No.
But we do go over how to heal, how to speak, how to expand, and then how to actually take this information and take it out into your life so that when because life is cyclical, so you will do a deep dive and you'll get all this amazing information, and then in 5-10 years all of a sudden you'll hit another little something, and you need to know how to take this information and work it, because you might have went through a different, you might have had the death of parents, or something has been going on with your children, and so there's stress within the relationship, or there's some built up resentment because you kind of weren't talking so much. And so it's like, how we want to give you the tools, the long lasting tools of how do you take this into your life after, so that it's not just like a little band-aid thing. It's like the full transformation, but then you take it with you.
So that is the full package. It is access to the erotic blueprint course, lots of our meditations, there's lots of bonuses. I even forgot exactly what they are. They're erotic persona, how to play with your erotic persona. So we're both hypnotherapists, so you get some hypnotherapy bonuses in there, loads of other stuff. Now, and that is for $5,000. So you would get access to the erotic blueprints now already, and then we'd go through it in the new year with you, how to unpack it. If you join now, we will already open the Facebook group at the end of the month, and then you already have our whole Facebook community. Now, I also understand for some people that's like, whoa, that's a little bit out of my price range. So we also offer the erotic blueprint course on its own. So you study it by yourself. You get access to a ton of stuff. The erotic blueprint community is on Mighty Networks. You get access to all of it there. They have 2 calls a week, 2 calls a month, sorry, and all kinds of things of how to bring more pleasure into your life. So there is just so much that you can do with just the alone course. And that is $997, and we also throw in some of our bonuses as well. So later on, what we'll do, we'll provide the link on here. Let us know if that feels right. If one of you or more of you want to have a chat with us, please, we'll put our Calendly link in there, and you can have a chat to us to see if this is the right fit for you.
Yeah.
And that is it. We have gone, I think, 2 minutes over, but we're pretty close.
We're pretty close. So if anybody has questions, shoot on over to Facebook so that everybody gets the answers to possibly the same questions. I will drop the links in there in the next 3 minutes so that you can check it out.
Maybe we'll open a Q&A question thread so that we can all leave the questions on there. If there's anything that's coming up, then Christine and I can go ahead and answer them.
Claire, thank you for giving us your time. Much love to you all. Thank you so very much for showing up.
And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. That's a love.